Roderick Nevin here from Fire in the Glen and the Hamilton Celtic Pipe Band. You're listening to the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast, show number 561.
Welcome to the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast, helping you celebrate Celtic culture through music. I am Marc Gunn. I'm a musician and podcaster, and I want to introduce you to some amazing Celtic bands and musicians. The artists in the show do need your support. You can do that by buying their music. You can find a link to all of the artists, along with show times and chapters for each song when you visit our website at CelticMusicPodcast.com. You can also support this podcast on Patreon. It's May 20th as I'm recording this episode, and I'm a little over a week away from going to Scotland, so I'm trying to get 2 more episodes completed in time so that when I get back, I'm not, suffering horrendously trying to get stuff done while feeling way behind. So I hope you appreciate and enjoy all of this great music. We kicked off the show with Mike Katz. That was the Bookie's Jig, Seann Bhriogais, Willie's Old Trousers, and the Reel of Bogie from his album A Month of Sundays. Next up is Spencer Murray and Pipeslinger with Bordertown from Sound and Fury.
By the Lords of Convention 'twas clavers who spoke, "Ere the King's crown shall fall, there are crowns to be broke. So let each cavalier who loves honour and me come follow the bonnet of bonny Dundee. Come fill up my cup, come fill up my can, come saddle your horses and call up your men. Unhook the westport and let me gang free. And there's room for the bonnet so bonny Dundee." Dundee he is mounted, he rides up the street. The bells are rung backwards, the drums they are beat. But the provost douceman says, "Just Dean let him be. The good tune is we'll quit o' that deal of Dundee."
As he rode down the sanctified bends o' the bow, Hill Caroline was fighting and shaking her paw. But the young plants of grace, they looked goodie and slee, thinking, "Luck to thy bonnet, thou bonny Dundee."
Come fill up my cup, come fill up my can, come saddle your horses and call up your men. Unhook the westport and let me gang free. And there's room for the bonnet so bonny Dundee. With sur-featured whigs the grass market was crammed, as if half o' the west had said trust to be hanged. There was fight in each look, there was fear in each ee, as they watched for the bonnet so bonny Dundee.
These kills o' Kilmarnock had spitsin and spears, and lang-hafted gullies to kill cavaliers. But they strung to close heads and the causeway was free, at the toss o' the bonnet of bonny Dundee. Come fill up my cup, come fill up my can, come saddle your horses and call up your men. Unhook the westport and let me gang free.
And there's room for the bonnet so bonny Dundee. He started a foot o' the Castle Rock, and with the gay Gordon he gallantly spoke. Let Montbeg and her marrows speak 2 words or 3 for the love o' the bonnet of bonny Dundee.
The Gordon demands of him which way he goes, where I shall direct me the Shadowman trolls. Your grace in short space shall hear tidings of me, or that low lies the bonnet of bonny Dundee. Come fill up my cup, come fill up my can, come saddle your horses and call up your men. Unhook the westport and let me gang free.
And there's room for the bonnet so bonny Dundee. There are hills beyond Pentland and lands beyond Forth. If there's lords in the lowlands, there's chiefs in the north. And there's wild Danny Wassels, 3,000 times 3 will cry hey for the bonnet of bonny Dundee.
There's brass on the target, old bark and bullhide. There's steel in the scabbard that dangles beside. The brass shall be burnished, the steel shall flash free, at a toss o' the bonnet of bonny Dundee.
Come fill up my cup, come fill up my can, come saddle your horses and call up your men. Unhook the westport and let me gang free. And there's room for the bonnet so bonny Dundee. So what to the hills, to the caves, to the rocks, in Iona usurper I'll couch with the fox, and tremble false wigs in the midst of your glee, for you've not seen the last of my bonnet and me. Come fill up my cup, come fill up my can, come saddle your horses and call up your men. Unhook the westport and let me gang free. And there's room for the bonnet so bonny Dundee.
He waved his proud hand and the trumpets were blown, the kettle drums clashed and the horsemen rode on, till on Ravelston's cliffs and on Clarmiston's lee died away the wild war notes so bonny Dundee.
was born in the shadow of a fair field green, and the blast of a freighter's horn was the very first sound that reached my ears on the morning I was born. I lay and I listened to the shipyard sounds coming out of the unknown, and was lulled to sleep by a mother tongue that was to be my own. But when I grew to 1 year old, I heard the siren scream as the city watched in the blacked out night a wandering searchlight beam. And then at last I awoke and rose to my first day of peace. But I'd learned that the battle to stay alive was never going to cease. I've sat and I've listened to my father tell of the days that he once knew, when you either sweated for a measly wage or you joined the parish queue. And times got harder day by day along the riverside, and I've often heard my mother say it was tears that made the Clyde. I've sat in the school pre-94 and I've dreamed of the world outside, where the riveters and the platers watch their ships slip to the Clyde. I've served my time behind the shipyard gates, and I've sometimes mourned my lot. But if any man tries to mess me about, I will fight like my father fought.
After Pipeslinger came the Sorries with Bonnie Dundee with some original verses. That's from their album Bends of the Bow. Then came Old Blind Dogs from their newest album Knucklehead Circus, that was Akins. And finally the Shipyard Apprentice by Battlefield Band from the producer's choice. I want your feedback. What are you doing today while listening to the podcast? You can send a written comment along with a picture of what you're doing while listening. I need some new feedback. I'm hoping to get a whole bunch by the time I get back from Scotland. Kennedy Johnson emailed, Mark, I haven't dropped a message in a while. Just wanted to say that the St. Patrick's Day podcast was wonderful. I love the music and the podcast. I hope you and your family are well. My daughter and I went down to the KC St. Patrick's Day parade. Sounded like the Atlanta St. Patrick's Day parade was a cold one. Kansas City had wonderful weather, sunny 74 that day. Estimated over 400,000 attended the parade that day. I made a wonderful corned beef and cabbage dinner that night. So good. I'm hoping to catch a live show one day, probably in Texas as it's closer to Kansas City. Also, hoping you'll be a performer at the Kansas City Irish Fest, Labor Day weekend in September. Sláinte. Thank you so much, Kennedy. Probably I will not be able to make that festival. Every year at Labor Day weekend is Dragon Con for me, which is the biggest science fiction convention that's a fan run in the world. And it's located here in Atlanta. I've been playing there for over 20 years. So I'm looking forward to being back there. And the Brobding Game Bards just got accepted. So I'm super happy about that. But maybe, one day, I think Sherwood Forest Fair is the one show I do that's regular in Texas each year. So keep an eye open for that if you want to come join me. Or, every now and then I'll make it other places. I think I'm going to be at Middle Tennessee Highland Games, and that is the second weekend of September after Labor Day weekend. Maybe you can make it out there if you want to come see me perform. Next up is Jimi McRae with Global Gathering from his same titled album.
As I roved out one morning fair, 'twas early as I strayed. It beat all in the month of May, and the birds sang in the shade. The sun shone down right merrily, and the river did swiftly glide, where heather bells and bracken grow by Gala waterside. I hadn't gone but half a mile when there by chance I spied 'twere lovers talking as they walked by Gala waterside. And as he embraced her in his arms, he said, your doubts will pass, for when I am in America, I'll be true to my borderlands. Oh, when you are in America, the Yankee girls you'll find, and you'll have sweethearts all your own, more pleasing to your mind. But don't forget all the promises you've made in these months past. Oh, stay at home, love, and do not roam from your bonny borderlands. Oh, when I am in America, those Yankee girls I'll see, but they must be very pretty, my love, to remind me of thee. For there's no abode in yonder bush, nor flower in yon green grass, but does remind me, love, of you, my bonny borderlands. And so these two young lovers so fondly did embrace, like the sudden rain of a summer's morn. The tears ran in her face, saying there's no a day when you're away, but I'll raise a hopeful glass until you do return again to your bonny borderlands.
was a lady in the north, I be the Rose and the Lindsay, oh. Fell in love with a father's clerk, down by the greenwood side, oh. She courted him for a year and a day, I be the Rose and the Lindsay, oh. To her great belly did her betray, down by the greenwood side, oh. She leaned her back up against a thorn, I be the Rose and the Lindsay, oh. Bonny was the babe she'd born, down by the greenwood side, oh. But she's taken out her wee penknife, I be the Rose and the Lindsay, oh. Put an end to their sweet life, down by the greenwood side, oh. And she buried them neath the marble stain, I be the Rose and the Lindsay, oh. Thinking to go a maiden hame, down by the greenwood side, oh. Looking over her father's wall, I be the Rose and the Lindsay, oh. She saw her boys playing with the ball, down by the greenwood side, oh. Oh, Bonnie Burns, if you were mine, I be the Rose and the Lindsay, oh. I dress you up in silk so fine, down by the greenwood side, oh. But cruel mother, when we were thine, I be the Rose and the Lindsay, oh. We never saw silk so fine, down by the greenwood side, oh. Oh, Bonnie Burns, tell to me, I be the Rose and the Lindsay, oh. What kind of death will I have today, down by the greenwood side, oh. It's 7 years of a bird in a wood, I be the Rose and the Lindsay, oh. 7 years of the fish in the flood, down by the greenwood side, oh. And 7 years of a warning bell, I be the Rose and the Lindsay, oh. 7 years in the flames of hell, down by the greenwood side, oh. Welcome the bird in the wood, I be the Rose and the Lindsay, oh. Welcome, welcome the fish in the flood, down by the greenwood side, oh. And welcome, welcome the warning bell, I be the Rose and the Lindsay, oh. God save me from the flames of hell, down by the greenwood side, oh.
So wanton, the maid went to the mill last night, hey, so wantonly. She swore beneath the stars so bright that she should have a corn ground, she should have a corn ground, the miller grinds so free. And out came the miller's man, hey, so wanton, out came the miller's man, hey, so wantonly. He swore he'd do the best he can, for to have a corn ground, for to have a corn ground, the miller grinds so free. Rest upon a sack, hey, so wanton. He bade her rest upon a sack, hey, so wantonly. Her maidenhead went with a crack, and oh, she got a corn ground, oh, she got a corn ground. The miller grinds so free. It's easy up and easy down, hey, so wanton. Easy up and easy down, hey, so wantonly. She scarce could tell her corn was ground, but oh, she got a corn ground, oh, she got a corn ground. The miller grinds so free. 9 months were past and gone, hey, hey, so wanton. 9 months were past and gone, hey, so wantonly. This fair young maid brought forth a son, because she got a corn ground, because she got a corn ground. The miller grinds so free. Her father bade her keep it in, hey, hey, so wanton. Her father bade her keep it in, hey, so wantonly. Cause the miller's man was a wealthy man, and oh, he got a corn ground, oh, he got a corn ground. The miller grinds so free. Oh, he got a corn ground, the miller grinds so free. After Jimi McRae came Ed Miller with My Bonnie Border Lass from Lolander, then Alasdair White with the Kirkpatricks of Iona from Unclar Gale, the White album, then Barrowburn with Rose and the Lindsay from Mist-Covered Mountains, and we finish up the set with The Maid Went to the Mill. That was from my CD, Kilted for Her Pleasure. Thank you so much, patrons of the podcast. Because of your kind and generous support, this show comes out nearly every week. Your generosity funds the creation, promotion, and production of the show. It allows us to attract new listeners and to help our community grow. As a patron, you hear episodes before regular listeners, vote in the Celtic Top 20, and you get a private feed to listen to the show, and that's just for as little as $1 per episode. You get bigger benefits when you pledge more. So here is your 3-step plan to support the podcast. Number 1, go to songhenge.com. That takes you to our Patreon page. Number 2, decide how much you want to pledge every week. $1, $5, $10. Make sure you cap how much you want to spend per month. And number 3, keep listening to the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast to celebrate Celtic culture through music. A special thanks to our Celtic legends, Dan McDade, Carol Burrill, Miranda Nelson, Nancy Barnett, Kevin Long, Linda McNeil, Annie Lorkowski, Travis Sinzaki, Sean Callie, and our newest Celtic legend. A big round of applause for Megan Walker. Thank you so much for your generosity. I appreciate all of you and everyone who supports the podcast. Thank you so much. It does make a huge difference. You can become a generous patron of the podcast on Patreon at songhenge.com. And you can join me on a Celtic Invasion vacation. Every year I take a small group of Celtic music fans on the relaxing adventure of a lifetime. We don't see everything. Instead, we stay in one area. We get to know the region through its culture, history, and legends. You can join us with an auditory and visual adventure through podcasts and videos. Learn more about the invasion at CelticInvasion.com. Duncan McLauchlan is up next with Dunfermline Tune Forever. That's from a single.
Days of yore as reads the lore of many a wheel-caned story. A king while lang a Scotland rang and crowned himself with glory. In skate to raise the gallant chase, where stag and brawn were snarling. Sin licked it down, sin for his crown, and settle it at Dunfermline. The rare old tune, the fair old tune, made failure touch it never. The old grey tune, the bold grey tune, Dunfermline tune forever. Castle fair, he bigot there, where ran the Wimplin Burnie. Then frae the linn we married in, and money through her tourney. Where England's rose forgot her woes, when good King Malcolm's darling, and reared the fane where lang she's lain, St. Margaret o' Dunfermline. The rare old tune, the fair old tune, may failure touch it never. The old grey tune, the bold grey tune, Dunfermline tune forever. And all the men who have lived since then within the city royal, he never sought to be bedacht that gallant is and loyal. Though east or west Dame Fortune cast their lot like fickle Carlin, as traders keen they've ever been, a credit to Dunfermline. The rare old tune, the fair old tune, the failure touch it never. The old grey tune, the bold grey tune, Dunfermline tune forever. No in Fife or Worth is rife, nor yet in all the nation, save Broughton, though princely boon, the envy of creation. Then we may line the grateful sang, looked like the lark of Stanlin, and ever be its chorus free, or get old tune. Dunfermline, the rare old tune, the fair old tune, the failure touch it never. The old grey tune, the bold grey tune, Dunfermline tune forever. Failure, touch it never. The old grey tune, the bold grey tune, Dunfermline tune forever. Dunfermline tune forever. Dunfermline tune forever. Dunfermline tune forever. Dunfermline tune forever.
fight the previous night. Gunshot rung out, he was told. If you see me on the road, just give me a wave and carry on your way. 'Cause I ain't coming back to this old town, 'cause I gotta go away. Cause I ain't coming back to this old town, 'cause I gotta go away.
Oh
After Duncan McLauchlan came Hugh Morrison with Ain't Coming Back from Lift Your Head, then Deirdre Graham, Macandu Arin Mierg from Uranta, and finally Rations by Talisk. That's from their album Beyond. Now, many of the artists in this show, not all, are from Scotland. Obviously, I am not. But so I hope you enjoy this little taste of Scotland. If you have a Scottish artist that you think should be on this show, make sure you drop them an email and tell them to submit their music to the podcast. I'd love to share their music here. I hope you enjoyed this week's show, and if you heard music you loved, share the episode. You can tag the artist on social, include a showtime so they can quickly and easily listen. The Irish and Celtic Music Podcast is here to build our diverse Celtic community and help the incredible artists who so generously share their music with you. It's not just Scottish music or Irish music. It's all sorts of music from around the world that celebrates Celtic culture through music. And of course, the musicians do rely on your support. So if you heard something you love, let the band or musician know that you loved it. You can drop them an email to let them know that. But you can also support them financially through CDs, digital downloads, merch purchases, Patreon. I think, who is it? Old Blind Dogs? I think they're on Patreon, which I had no clue. And so, a lot of these bands are on Patreon, just like this podcast. So go check it out. Also, make sure you subscribe to the Celtic Music Magazine. This is a quick and easy way to plug yourself into more great Celtic culture. And you'll get 34 Celtic MP3s for free when you sign up. Finally, I want to remind you to vote in the Celtic Top 20 for 2022. This is our way of finding the best songs and artists each year. You can vote for as many songs and tunes that inspire you in each episode. Your vote helps me create next year's best Celtic music of 2022. And every week, it also helps me create the playlist on Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube, which features all of these amazing artists. So you can find those links in the show notes at CelticMusicPodcast.com for show number 561. We're going to finish up the show with Moonrakers. This is Albion Heart from their album Bird on the Wing. Thank you so much for listening. I'll be back again next week. Sláinte. The Irish and Celtic Music Podcast was edited by Mitchell Peterson with graphics by Miranda Nelson Designs. The show is produced by Marc Gunn, the Celtfather. Subscribe through your favorite podcatcher or on our website, where you can become a patron of the podcast for as little as $1 per episode. Promote Celtic culture through music at CelticMusicPodcast.com.